First Lady Jill Biden arrived in Romania today, the first stop of her four-day tour of Eastern Europe. As the war in Ukraine grinds on, she visited U.S. and NATO troops deployed in the region and will meet with Ukrainian refugees this weekend. 10 weeks into the devastating conflict, fierce battles rage in Ukraine's northeast, where Ukrainian forces have gone on the offensive as Russia continues its slow but pounding push toward the Donbass. In Mariupol, a third effort to evacuate civilians from a besieged steel plant was underway today, even as Russian forces continue to storm it. And in a virtual address to the Policy Institute Chatham House in London, President Volodymyr Zelensky said that a peace deal may still be possible if Russian troops retreat.
They have to fall back and go beyond the contact lines, and they should withdraw the troops, of course. And that situation will be able to start discussing. Despite the fact that they destroying all our bridges, I think not all the bridges are yet destroyed, figuratively speaking.
One of the deadliest sieges during the battle for Kyiv last month was in the city of Chernihiv, north of the capital. Ukrainian forces stopped Russia from advancing south, but Russian troops left a trail of destruction. Nick Schifrin visited Chernihiv and a nearby village, and he reports on the aftermath of that fight and signs of renewal.
On the outskirts of Chernihiv, spring has arrived, as have the electrical workers fixing Tatiana Durucha's home. She and her husband built this house 28 years ago. Now, municipal workers must rebuild and rewire the life the Russians destroyed. The damage in Novoselica is apocalyptic. It was never occupied, only bombarded by Russian airstrikes and rockets as if it were hit by a hurricane. In the 90s, Durucha's family bought 15 acres and built 4 homes for their extended family. Her mother-in-law's house is now that pile of wood.
Why have you come back home?
Why have I come back? Because this is my home. This is my soul. Because I gave birth to my children here. They grew up here. My mother lives here, used to live here. My aunt lived here. My mother-in-law lived here. I had the happiest days of my life here. This is my home. Despite all of the destruction, I want to be home. My soul is longing for this because it is mine. However it looks right now, it's mine.
The bombing in Novoselica started on March the 3rd. She says the homes burned like candles. First her aunt's house, then her neighbor's house, and then a jet dropped a 1,000-pound bomb and destroyed what little was left.
Look at this. This is an aerial bomb.
This is heavy. This is the remnants of a bomb.
Yes, this is the aerial bomb, the remnants of the bomb.
She can wipe her hands, but not the memories.
And the fact that this is here, is this a reminder of what happened?
It's painful, yes.
The only structure left standing is her house, where they sheltered in the basement.
So this is the basement where all of you guys hid.
2 rooms, 200 square feet, a cellar turned sanctuary for 17 people, including 5 children. They bathed the kids with water warmed by kettles and prayed for a peace that seemed to never come.
When they would start bombing us, these kids would start screaming and crying, and then the grannies would do the same. I would never wish that upon anyone in the 21st century.
Does it bother you being back?
Yes. The basement, the thuds, the screaming kids, the old ladies. It was the scariest 2 weeks of my life. It needs to be cleaned up and put back together, just not now. Not yet. It's painful.
In early March, Chernihiv bore the brunt of Russia's bombardment. That single missile that Amnesty International says weighed more than 1,000 pounds and was unguided killed 46 people in this square, one of the war's deadliest single attacks. Today, that same square bears the strike's scars, the crater that destroyed the hospital. the residents still surrounded by memories of the music they once played, and the building they once called home no longer a safe haven.
2 weeks ago, we found here a woman on the seventh floor.
Dmitry Ivanov is Chernihiv region's deputy governor.
Damages of buildings, damages of schools, damages of kindergartens, damages of libraries, stadiums.
Some of the damage was Ukrainian. The army blew up bridges to prevent invading Russians from driving south to Kyiv.
Every day we find some surprises in our forests, in our different places.
Surprises, you mean bombs?
Yeah, bombs.
Rocket remnants fill Chernihiv's countryside. 30-year-old Captain Alexander Remenets and his unit have been busy. They search an abandoned Russian encampment, where soldiers who failed to seize Chernihiv left behind discarded shells. Clearing leftover munitions is risky. Their front window was hit by Russian shrapnel. Russian soldiers occupied this farm. Ukrainians targeted them with rockets that now have to be dug up by hand. In total, Chernihiv bomb disposal units have discovered 10,000 pieces of unexploded ordnance and started working even as Russian troops besieged the city.
What were those few weeks like?
Our unit has been working from the very beginning. During the air raids, we had to hide in the shelters, and we had to wait and could only go back to work when it was all quiet. It was very difficult.
So this was your mother-in-law's house?
Back in Novoselica, Tatiana Duruha walks me across her property, and I ask one last question.
How is she doing today, your mother-in-law?
We took her with us to the city on March 11th. We had no food whatsoever. And on day 5, she just opened the door and went home to get food. It was March 16th. There was heavy fighting in the city, and we haven't seen her since.
Parts of Novoselica will never return, but surrounded by death and destruction, this village looks forward.
You have to find strength and patience and accept whatever has come. So I'm determined that we will rebuild. Maybe it won't be as big, maybe it won't be as beautiful, but I'm sure it will be better.
Resilience and renewal at the beginning of spring. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.
Thank you, Nick. And a reminder that our coverage of the war in Ukraine is supported in partnership with the Pulitzer Center.